The night air of the Florida Keys was thick with salt and secrets. The waves rolled lazily against the wooden post of the dock, each crash muffled beneath the heavy pulse inside my chest. The moonlight stretched silver over the water, but all I could focus on was the man standing so close, his body leaning into mine like the tide itself had pushed us together. Peter. He was the only sound in my silence, the warmth of his breath fanning against my neck, the faint brush of his fingertips over my shirt, as though he already owned the rhythm of my heartbeat. My back was pressed against the railing of the dock, the humid air wrapping around us like a second skin. "Say something," I whispered, though my voice broke like a wave that didn't know whether to rise or crash. But Peter didn't answer. He didn't need to. His touch was already saying everything. The slow drag of his palm across my chest, the way his thumb brushed dangerously close to my throat, the way his lips hovered inches away from mine. It was a language I didn't need translating. And then it happened. The first touch that unraveled me. His fingers curled at the edge of my jaw, tilting my head slightly so he could look straight into me. His eyes were darker than the ocean, reflecting only the firelight from the lantern we'd left burning at the end of the dock. "You feel it too," he murmured finally, his voice low and rough, like gravel coated in honey. I didn't deny it. Couldn't. The silence between us shattered with the weight of his kiss. It wasn't hurried, not at first, just a slow press of lips, testing, pulling, demanding an answer from my body before my voice could betray me. But my body betrayed me anyway. My hands fisted into his shirt, dragging him closer, until I could taste salt and heat and something that belonged only to Peter. The night might have been quiet, but inside me, a storm broke loose. We hadn't planned for this night to spiral like it did. The trip to the Keys had started as an escape, a getaway with just the two of us, no obligations, no eyes watching, no rules. A rented beach house that opened onto a private stretch of sand, hammocks tied between palm trees, a dock that reached out into the black expanse of the ocean. It was paradise, yes, but paradise felt like a trap when desire built walls higher than any prison. We'd spent the day pretending everything was normal, swimming, laughing, even cooking together in the tiny kitchen with its rickety ceiling fan. But every brush of his hand against mine, every shoulder bump, every time his gaze lingered too long, it had been leading to this. Now, on the dock, there was no pretending left. Peter kissed me harder, hungrier. His beard scraped against my skin, a raw reminder that this wasn't soft fantasy, but burning reality. His hands gripped my hips, tugging me away from the railing until I was flush against him. The dock creaked beneath our weight, but we didn't stop. "Do you know how long I wanted this?" he whispered into my mouth, his words hot and desperate. "Yes," I groaned because I did. I'd felt it in every stolen glance, every too long silence between us. He pulled back just enough to look at me, his eyes wide as though he needed to memorize this moment before it slipped through his fingers. And then, with a sudden motion, he spun me, pressing me against the wooden post of the dock. My palms flattened against the rough wood, and his chest pressed against my back. His breath ghosted over the side of my neck, and my body trembled as if the humid air had turned electric. "You drive me insane," he growled softly, his lips brushing the sensitive spot just below my ear. And in that moment, I wasn't mine anymore. The dock wasn't enough for Peter. Soon, he tugged me by the wrist, leading me back toward the beach house, our footsteps sinking into the cool sand. The lantern swayed in the breeze behind us, but we didn't look back. The porch light spilled golden warmth over the wooden steps, and Peter didn't hesitate. He pressed me against the doorframe before even unlocking the door, his hands braced on either side of me. His kiss was rougher now, insistent, his tongue parting my lips as though he couldn't stand the barrier of space between us. The night was alive with sound, the rush of waves, the distant call of a gull, the rustle of palm leaves in the breeze. But all I heard was him, his breathing, his heartbeat pounding in sync with mine, the subtle groan that escaped his throat when I finally let my hands roam, sliding beneath the thin fabric of his white shirt. His skin burned beneath my touch, muscles tensing, chest rising and falling rapidly. Inside, I gasped, because if we stayed out here much longer, the entire ocean would hear what he was doing to me. Peter fumbled with the keys, but his mouth never left mine. By the time the door finally clicked open, We were half tangled in each other, stumbling into the cool dimness of the beach house. The sound of the ocean dulled behind the walls, leaving only our uneven breaths. He pushed me toward the couch, but I stopped him. "No," I said, surprising myself at the firmness of my voice. "Not the couch. The porch. I want the night to see." His eyes darkened, but a smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Bold," he said. "I like that." So we stayed, the door wide open, the ocean as our witness. The porch became our stage, moonlight spotlighting every move. Peter pulled his shirt over his head, tossing it carelessly aside, and my chest tightened at the sight of him, his broad shoulders gleaming with sweat, the faint sheen of salt water still clinging to his skin. His beard framed his jaw like something untamed, and his eyes burned with hunger that words couldn't capture. "Your turn," he said, voice rough with command. I obeyed, tugging my black shirt over my head, my body already trembling under his gaze. The humid air clung to my skin, and before I could even steady myself, his hands were on me again, tracing, claiming, telling me everything he hadn't dared to say out loud. When his lips returned to my neck, I nearly buckled. His teeth grazed the sensitive skin, his beard scratching softly, his tongue soothing the sting. Every kiss left a mark that felt like a vow. "Peter," I gasped, my fingers threading into his hair. "Don't talk," he whispered against my skin. "Just feel." And I did. God, I did. The night wrapped around us, the porch boards creaking under our shifting weight, the ocean singing its eternal song. I lost myself in every press of his body, every surge of heat, every unspoken word his touch carved into me. By the time he pulled back slightly, his lips swollen, his chest heaving, I already knew it. This night was going to brand me forever. "This isn't just a night," he said, voice hoarse but certain. "You know that, right?" I swallowed hard, my entire body trembling in his hold. "I know." And then his touch told me everything else.